Well, here's the thing about it. I get this photograph from a subscriber, okay?
Uh-huh.
And 9 times out of 10, I would discount something like this as a lens flare, okay?
Yeah.
But as I took a closer look at it, and as I scooted in on it, I noticed the little hole in the orb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not a normal lens flare, right? So I go a little bit closer in and change the contrast, add some gamma, and this is what I get.
Hmm.
And then I invert the color, Mr. Video production expert, and I get this. Do I have an object here?
Always the whatever the heck that is missing out of the center. Looks like the picture on Lasco 3, and
Yep.
looks like the similarities to the NASA second moon, huh?
It does. I mean, it goes with that story we did. But then I remembered this picture provided by our physicist in her paper, by the way, which didn't have anything to do with, my analysis of this picture. Come on now.
By the way, I'll be posting this paper as well over on my channel, and Steve, if you want it, we can do it. I've got about 4 papers I just haven't gotten to.
Yeah, and again, we'll have all those papers up on WSO Live as well. We have a repository of them, and we'll always make these available on our videos for people to grab them. But this is basically the image that she had that she thought was a brown dwarf.
Well, it would look like it's surrounded by a cloud.
Right. And it just looks so similar to this object that we captured, our subscriber captured, Don't you think that looks similar?
Oh, I mean, if you were doing a police lineup, it'd be that.
Anyway, going back to the paper, this is the paper that Wayne was talking about. It's about the brown dwarf ejection. This is after Wayne and I were reporting on last week, or the week before last week on the 31st, on this strange ejection that came from the direction of Venus. In her analysis, she shows, and again, I'll just have a link to the paper, and Wayne and other people are doing videos on this too. But it just shows this, the anomaly explained by a physicist, what we are seeing, and she believes it's a brown dwarf ejecting.
Well, I think we've gotten so much to the point now that, quite frankly, Steve, I don't know, what to believe and what not to believe. You know what I'm saying?
She compares an ejection in the same instrument from the sun to the ones that we saw from this thing, and they're similar, but it's coming from a different direction. That's all she's saying.
So stereo B, just to make sure, H1, I think this is what, H12?
Yeah, stereo B is out of commission, so this is on stereo A, HI1.
HI1, okay.
Yeah. Which looks like Earth. All right, Earth and Venus.
All right, so it's HI2 that actually goes to the outer planets, right?
That's right. It uses for the wider scope view, right?
Yeah. I often thought to myself, why didn't we put something out there where we could photograph, the Kuiper Belt?
How do you know they didn't?
That's exactly the point. The way I look at it, they could have sent up a number of satellites. How would we know?
You don't know. And again, they're always sending up stuff all the time. But the stuff that they let us look at, though, Wayne, I got to say, a lot of people say, don't trust it. It's from NASA, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's one of those things where we get corroboration with our own, our own subscribers that it's just like, kind of, guys, maybe we should pay attention to the data we get and just not necessarily believe hook, line, and sinker everything we see. But when we get a compelling piece of evidence like this, let's share it with each other and see if anybody else has got something similar.
Well, and again, we're starting to get enough, I know, in our archives where we can start going back and looking at past pictures, past events that we've been seeing. After a while, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it might be a duck.
Yeah, and again, it's in the perfect position to create that waveform that we're seeing on Inul, which we'll do later today. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, thanks for joining us on this episode of the White Steiger Olson Report, where we're looking at a very compelling